Hey everyone, this is Coach Yani Moya and I'm a transformational life and finance coach. Welcome to Quarter Life Bliss. This is a podcast dedicated to disrupting the quarter life crisis mindset, spreading bliss and happiness to all listeners. My mission is to inspire possibilities, taking away the fear of going through your 20s and to crisis-proof your quarter life. At 25, I'm very happy to share that I'm living a life of purpose, successfully content and happy even as I evolve with the times. These lessons, tips, and insights I now share with all of you, in the hopes that you too will find your quarter life bliss, whatever your age and circumstances. Welcome back to the podcast. For today's episode, we have here Melissa, who is an entrepreneur and a digital content creator on the side, as she is a brand and digital marketing specialist by profession. She is an advocate for women and self-empowerment. She's the owner of Yours Truly Denishka. And what I'm amazed in this girl is that she's a thyroid cancer survivor, and now she's advocating to raise awareness on this specific illness. No, her story inspired me simply because she's very young. She's the same age as me, and yet very strong because of what she's gone through in her life. So let's all welcome Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Yanni. Thank you for having me
Thank you.
today.
Thank you so much for saying yes to me. Actually, guys, si Mel kasi, she was my, tawag dito, she was my guest in Manifestation Monday, last Monday. And then, during the debrief, sabi ko, you know what, let's talk more about your story, your journey, after cancer. Because, hindi namin masyadong dive deep doon because puro pera yung pinag-usapan namin on our live stream. So, yeah, I'm happy, Mel, that you immediately said yes. And perfect because I think a quarter life bliss is all about talking about our life experiences while we are in our 20 something.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited also to share this because it's something that I'm really, passionate about talking because it's something that's very personal to me. And it also, like a lot of people also has helped me in this journey. And I also want to pay it forward and do the same for others.
Perfect. So yeah, let's start no. Maybe just tell us about you before you got diagnosed with cancer and what was it like when you learned about your critical illness?
Sige, I think before it actually became cancer or before I even found out about cancer, there's actually a pretty long story behind it. So that was back in 2016. I was only 21 years old. I was fresh out of college and I was very hungry of what life has to offer. So yeah, I was very excited for my first job and I was mainly like a very go-getter kind of girl and I had so many goals and dreams that I wanted to achieve at that certain age. And then about a year after, like in work, we were required to do an annual physical exam. So I was only 22 at that time. So I don't know, I was really keen on doing the annual physical exam. I wasn't even feeling nervous about it. So at the time na when the doctor was about to check me, she actually felt a lump on my neck. So that's where it all started. So during my annual physical exam, she found the lump. And then parang she just casually told me na, okay, we might need to run a few more tests kasi just to be sure on what it is. So parang since she was talking to me so casually about it, parang it didn't even hit me na something might be wrong or I might really be sick or whatever. So because like wala naman ako nararamdaman na pain or any discomfort. Pero yun pala, there was a lump growing on my neck. And my friends, my family didn't even notice it. Napansin na lang nila like when the doctor pointed out na I had a lump on my neck. So ayun, so the day came na I had to do the additional tests that were required by the doctor. And then like I even had a neck ultrasound and everything, like the blood tests came back normal. Pero like when I got when I got the doctors to check on the results of the neck ultrasound, apparently medyo malaki na pala yung lump on my neck. And then that was also the first time na he was like, well, the doctor read the results and he asked me if may kasama ba akong companion or what. And I casually said, wala, okay lang. Parang okay lang naman ako, parang ganon. And then, yun pala, that's when he broke the news to me that I had a tumor and it could either be benign or malignant. So, isa lang naman ang meaning ng malignant na you could possibly have cancer. So, parang that was the first moment na parang, wow, like, is this really happening? I'm only 22. Mag-isa pa nga ako pumunta sa check-up, diba? Because, like, I didn't even know na I could even hear this kind of news at my age.
Parang siguro in your head, parang, ano lang to, check-up lang. Just another
normal
check-up.
Yeah. So, yun, like, after nun, what happened? That same day also, I think, the doctor did a biopsy also that same day. So, yung biopsy kasi with thyroid, with my case, it's very easy. It's a 2-minute quick procedure. So, syringe lang siya with a needle and then i-extract lang yung tissues just to get a biopsy. So, it's very quick and easy. Like, I could still go to work the next day or even commute within the day. So, yun siya. But it was pretty scary kasi yun nga, like, mag-isa lang ako. I was very independent kasi, ewan ko ba.
Pinanindigan, no? Hanggang doon, independent. And I just wanna know, so, parang nakukuha ko dito is that, number 1, guys, seryosohin ninyo yung inyong APE.
Yes.
No, if you need to take it, because you never know what you might learn about your health or your body. No? But I wanna know, what was in your head when you were told nung exact na, okay, Mel, may companion ka ba? Because I need to tell you something very serious, very important. What was in your head at that certain moment? Can you remember it?
Nung tinatanong pa lang ako if I had a companion, like, I was really so casual about it na parang, no, it's just me. It's just me today. Wala talaga. Pero, like, nung sinabi na niya, yung word na malignant, sabi ko, isa lang naman ibig sabihin nun eh. That's when parang I kind of blacked out a bit. Na parang my mind went on blank. I didn't even know how to process that information. And to think, like, after I get out of the doctor's office, wala naman akong kasama outside to share what I've heard. So, parang nag-blank lang talaga ako when the doctor said that to me.
Parang nag-stop yung mundo mo, ganyan.
Oh, as in parang like, what's happening? Hindi mo siya ma-explain.
And before doing the APE, learning about your sickness or your illness, who were you like? Parang were you always this bubbly? Were you always YOLO? Were you always, alam mo yun, who was Mel before that?
Yeah, I was like, yun nga, like, since I was fresh out of college, I was really super excited about life. So, every step of the way, like, I was just excited to do things, ganyan. Wala, like, I was really, like, super in the moment. Di naman sa YOLO, but, like, I've learned to treasure every bit of what I had at that time. Kasi yun nga, parang I was really happy. It was very blissful. It was very blissful for me.
So yung personality mo na talaga, yung parang naturally happy ka na talaga. Naturally excited in life. Oh, yes. Okay. And alam ko after that, nagkaroon ka ng surgery. You were scheduled for surgery, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what changed? Yeah. Yun, sige, go.
So yun, I was scheduled for a surgery, so that was 2 years after. So hindi ko pa alam na may cancer ako nito. So ito naman yung story nun. So during the 2 years before I was scheduled for a surgery, so I keep coming back to the doctor. So lagi na talaga ninomonitor. So every 3 to 6 months, Then I had maybe a total of 4 to 5 biopsies already. And then it never became smaller kasi yun yung purpose din nung biopsy extraction para lumiit yung lump. But then like it would grow, I mean it would reduce in size rather. Pero like it still grew as the time went by. So that's when the doctor told me na parang sooner or later, you'd still need to get the surgery kasi yun nga, it just keeps getting bigger. It's not getting any smaller. So yun. So at the time na when we finally decided that I should do the surgery, it wasn't right away kasi hindi naman siya right away. Hindi siya emergency surgery, so you can schedule it in advance. So we schedule it siguro after 3 months pa. But yun nga, the recommendation was to do it now within 6 months. Kasi we just can't keep doing the biopsy even if it turns out benign. Like benign siya ng benign for the 4 to 5 biopsies. But then yun nga, lumalaki. And all other tests were normal. So this was back in 2019. I was already 24 and I was really at my prime. I was traveling to so many places. I was even traveling for work. Like I'd fly to Paris twice a year, which was such a dream. It
Wow,
was really such a
grabe.
dream. Yeah. But then yun nga, like we had to schedule the surgery, so I had to take a pause also from my prime life. So actually the surgery would also allow me to rest for a full month kasi you would need to recover for about 3 to 4 weeks. So that was also kind of like, I was a bit excited kasi yun nga like, hindi ako nervous to go into the surgery because like, I've had the lump for 2 years. So medyo na prepare na ako. Like, if and when the surgery comes. So yun, like, since the surgery was also planned, I also got to condition my mind na, okay, I'm taking a break from work, ganyan. So, kasi nakakapagod na rin naman talaga. Like, yun nga, since I was such a go-getter at such a young age. Yun.
Yeah, okay. But I wanna know, what was life like within those 2 years? So within those 2 years, tama ba na you were, kumbaga, still living a normal life?
Yes, definitely.
Tapos parang you were just waiting, hoping actually na mawawala siya through the biopsy.
Yes, like, yun nga, like, we were hoping and praying na mawala pa siya kasi lagi naman siya ina-extract, so sana hindi na siya lalaki kasi yun naman yung iniiwasan.
Iniiwasan ninyo magka-surgery, no? Pero nagkaroon ng surgery. Okay? And what changed in you and your life after the surgery? So sabi mo nga, no, very go-getter ka before, very excited and happy with life. What changed in you or your mindset or your lifestyle after your surgery?
Siguro I'd start with the moment I woke up from the surgery. I was so thankful to be alive. As in, yun talaga na parang, I'm still here. Tapos, I really remember the first thing I did was I tried to speak. Kasi those were one of the possible complications. You might lose your speech, you might not be able to sing. I also like singing. So that was one of the things that I was worried about. Kasi more than, going into the neck surgery, you could die on the table kasi it's very bloody when it's a neck surgery. So those are one of also the possible complications. And yun nga, you might possibly lose your speech too if anything goes wrong. So yun, I was really like, from the moment I woke up, I was really grateful na, wow, nakakapagsalita ako. So yun, parang that was, it's such a small thing. Yes, I was grateful to be alive, but I was also grateful na I'm still able to speak.
Nakakatuwa because ito yung mga bagay na personally, no, hindi na natin napapansin on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Pero others are praying na allow me to keep my voice, diba? Allow me to stay alive and live my life pa.
Yes.
Because there's so much more. And I think this is a great reminder for all of us to stay grateful, to appreciate the little things. Diba? Sometimes, when we think of things na wala sa atin, we could easily be, we could easily be swayed with things we want more in life. But if we, just look at your hands, okay, gumagana, nakakapagsulat ka, that's good enough. You can speak, that's good enough to be grateful, 'di ba? So, yeah, a great reminder for people to stay grateful. Tingnan niyo naman si Mel, 'di ba, after traveling in different countries, living the life, all she wanted at that point was to wake up and to still have her voice, and masabi niya successful ang surgery.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So, after that, were you declared cancer-free na? After the surgery?
So
Sorry,
yeah,
wala
ito pa
talaga
pala
akong alam, ah.
ito
Sige,
pala
go.
yung hindi ko nasabi. So after the surgery, we had to wait 2 weeks for the biopsy results kasi they removed my thyroid completely. But the very important thing here is actually the perfect timing of when we scheduled the surgery. Kasi if diba, we were already waiting for 2 years before the surgery. But if we did it like earlier than 2 years, we wouldn't even know that I had cancer cells. Because, yun nga, it was too small to be even seen. Kaya din tumagal yung biopsy results because, yun nga, like, maliit pa siya. So, that's the other good side of it. Yun nga, like, since it was done at the right timing, I didn't need to actually get chemotherapy because it was caught very early on. And another thing is, since we already did a total thyroidectomy, so they removed the whole thing. Kasi my tumor was only on the left lobe, so we have 2 lobes on the thyroid. And my right looks completely normal talaga from a neck ultrasound. And then the doctor decided to take everything out. And then when they did the biopsy, they actually found the cancer cells on the right, the one that looks so normal on the neck ultrasound.
Ang
So yun,
galing.
diba?
Kaya pala
Yeah.
ang personal affirmation kasi ni Mel when she shared during her live stream is perfect timing. 'Di ba? You believe in
Yes.
perfect timing.
Yes.
And this is a good reminder that everything is planned the way it should happen. 'Di ba? Maybe at that point, 2 years before your surgery, you were thinking, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Paano na to? 'Di ba? And then, you learned na nagkaroon ka ng cancer. Maybe at that point, you were even questioning, no? Bakit ako? Bata-bata ko pa, etc.
Yeah.
But now, looking back, you are speaking coming from, buti na lang. 'Di ba? Buti na
Yes.
lang tama yung timing namin. Buti na lang tama yung decision to remove the whole thyroid, no?
And buti na lang, it's only thyroid cancer. Kasi we have actually a history in our family. So somewhere in that, area also, sa nasopharyngeal area. And then, yun nga, like, I was grateful even na yun nga, I only got thyroid cancer because it's the kindest one. Hindi siya kumakalat.
Yeah, you told me nga na parang yun yung kindest cancer. So, and you didn't undergo chemotherapy. Hindi
Yes, because we caught it early on. So, we also consulted several doctors if yun nga, not needed na ba talaga. So, at that moment, hindi pa kailangan. And then, like, every year ka na lang talaga or every 6 months, in my case, it's a check-up just to be sure na, walang cancer cells anywhere else.
Right. So, after that surgery, okay, when they announced, after how many weeks of waiting, biopsy ulit. Tama, no?
No, actually, yung buong, di ba, tinanggal na siya from the surgery. So, yun yung biopsy. So,
yun
nasa
yung
kanila na yung, nasa kanila yung specimen.
Yung biopsy,
And then,
oo, nga naman. Oh. Sorry, hindi kasi ako
And
nanonood
then-
ng Grey's Anatomy. Ano ba yan? Hindi ko tuloy alam tong mga bagay na to.
and then yun lang, just to be able to check, like if you're still cancer-free, you have to undergo several blood tests and mga ultrasound, like from time to time. So in my case, it was every 6 months.
Okay. So, what was it like when the doctor finally told you, okay, Mel, you're cancer-free? Wala na. No, finally, we saw it, natanggal yung thyroid mo. Sakto, nandito pala sa right. How did you feel during that moment?
I felt very blissful. Na parang, wow, I'm still alive. I have a second chance at life. I can still do more. Kasi yun lang naman yun eh. Like, the moment I found out, sabi ko, parang, Lord, hindi ko pa time. Bata pa ako and I still had so many hopes and dreams in my life that I want to achieve.
Very blissful because you feel like second chance mo in life to be better, to live better, no? Did you
Yeah.
promise, was that in your point in your life that you got to promise something like, okay, starting from now, I'm gonna enjoy every single day of my life? Or like, starting from now, I'm gonna be kinder. Alam mo yun, yung mga bagay na ganito. Did you have certain promises to yourself or to your life or to God, the moment you learned na, kumbaga, welcome to your second life na?
Siguro one of the things that I realized na yun nga, I've always proclaimed myself to be like a very confident person. I was very self-confident. I was very independent. I was happy with where I am. But I guess ang kinulang ko nun is to acknowledge that it does not come from me. Like all that I have is all because God blessed me with them. So it's really, like I realized na I was such a favored daughter of Christ, ganyan. And the one thing that I really wanted to change that moment na parang this is already my second life, is that I wanted to be a light to others, a light that reflects God's goodness. So for this moment na I want to share my testimony to help other people. But the deeper meaning about that is that I wanted to share how God was so good and so gracious to me. Because yun nga, like despite na at a young age, I had cancer, ganyan. But I still found it as a victory because, God has really did so many good things in my life na I should really acknowledge na this is not my life. Like, it's not even mine to control. So that's when I really surrendered. And parang my life became a bit more liberated because parang I guess I was so also very pressured since I had a lot of goals and dreams na parang I was so filled up with those pressures in my head na I had to achieve this at a certain age, I had to do this at a certain age. But then I guess siguro that's also one of the reasons I got sick, I guess. Na I wasn't acknowledging or I wasn't also taking good care of my body, my mind, my soul, and my spirit.
I like that. I like that because ako mismo napapareflect ako ngayon. That maybe I'm too pressured or putting pressure on myself to achieve certain things or goals that I want in my life. That nakakalimutan ko na rin mag-alagaan yung sarili ko. And that's very important.
Mm-mm.
Diba? Importante na for us to live a longer life, not just a longer life, but for us to fulfill our life purpose, our life mission, important that we are also healthy. Important that we also
Yeah.
take care of ourselves. And I guess one thing that I also want to point out is that you said your faith was stronger. Kumbaga, siguro, you learned how to surrender life because you've seen the promises right before you, diba? Na parang,
Mm-hmm.
diba, yung pinromise ni God that I'll protect you, He really did. No? And
Yes.
and you're a true testament of second chances, true testament of that we have a loving and protecting God.
And that everything happens at His own will. So yun nga, like everything really happens on His own perfect timing.
Yeah. Ang ganda nun, Mel. Always trusting, always surrendering. And I guess because a lot of our viewers are in their quarter life or are Gen Zs, no? It's a great reminder to not just run after your goals, one goal at a time, but also take a pause, check in with your health. Have you been taking care of yourself? Because that's also that should be part of your goals. No? And at the same time, not just your health, but your spirit, not just your physical health, but your spiritual health as well. Check in with your faith.
Yeah.
No?
Kasi, exactly. Kasi even if like, medyo na-feel ko yan I was really at my prime, pero you'd look back na parang sometimes you'd feel na, why does it feel so empty? It would really feel empty if you don't have a hopeful and faithful heart and spirit.
Hopeful and faithful heart. I love that. Did you view life differently after your cancer journey, after your surgery? Itong chapter 2 ng buhay mo, how was life like and how did it change for you?
I guess it really changed a lot in a way na this verse really struck to me, like the Bible verse. I can read it. It's Matthew 6:24. So it reads, Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So this is like it kind of became my life mantra na because like getting cancer was something I couldn't control. So that's when I realized na you really have to live it day by day because you wouldn't know what tomorrow might bring. And if you keep thinking about what tomorrow might bring, it will only bring you anxiety. So that's why you should learn how to live in the present and stop worrying about tomorrow's problems because there's tomorrow for you to worry about them.
Yeah, that's true. Anxiety is fear of the unknown. And if we keep living on thinking, if we keep operating on thinking na what will happen tomorrow, in doubts and fears, then we won't be able to enjoy what's in front of us currently. That's why it's important. And I think every episode ko na lang sinasabi to live in the moment, to stay present and enjoy what's in front of you and be grateful for what's in front of you. Kasi, great reminder, no? Hindi mo kailangan don't wait, guys, for you to be a cancer survivor. Alam mo yon, for you to start appreciating life. Diba? A lot of us worry about a lot of things. Sometimes I personally worry about a lot of things with my business, with what I do, with, everyone around me, with my family, with my future. Ang dami. And if I keep thinking about all of these things, I'm not saying you shouldn't be goal-oriented or you shouldn't set your intentions. But what I'm saying is that you also have to appreciate your current life. For you to say you've lived your life talaga, you have to appreciate every single moment in your life and stop worrying for tomorrow. Sabi mo nga, diba, you have tomorrow to worry about it.
Yes.
What do you think, Mel, is your life purpose? You've been given a second life, kumbaga, and maybe hindi mo pa na-fulfill yung life purpose mo. What do you think is it?
At this point, parang I still don't know completely what my full why is. Pero one thing that I'm really sure about is, to not be so full about myself. Na it's really not about me. So, parang you have to use your talents elsewhere and remember na those talents, yes, you worked hard for them, but someone else blessed you with it. So it's up to you on how you will use it, how you will bless others with it. And, just be a light to others in reflection of God's goodness and grace to you.
Yeah, contribute through your God-given talents.
Exactly.
Live a life of contribution. Live a life of, sharing. Purpose. Sabi mo nga, hindi pa clear talaga kung ano yung why. And my mentor would always say that your life purpose evolves. Parang it's not ito na yung purpose ko and for the rest of my life, it's gonna be this. Parang it continuously evolves. So if you are, for our listeners who are battling with quarter life crisis and thinking na, grabe, I feel like I'm in my quarter life crisis because I don't even know my purpose. I don't even know my why in this life. It's a continuous journey. You'll continuously learn about it as you go on with life. Parang right now, maybe that's your purpose. Maybe that's your clear why. But it's gonna change and evolve as you evolve yourself and your life as well. So what I'm hearing from you is that you wanna keep being the light to people through your talents, no, being in contribution all the time. So, what would be your message that you would want to share to people after going through that journey or through your journey, your story?
Just to sum up everything really happens for a reason, and everything will happen at its perfect timing. So whether you're going through a quarter life crisis, and that your goals and your aspirations in life has not happened yet, know that everything will really happen on its own time. As long as you persevere, you work hard, and you give back to others as well. And remember who gave the opportunities you have right now. Acknowledge it. Be grateful for everything. Be grateful also that you're a work in progress, and that's okay. So even if you don't achieve them right now, acknowledge the fact that you're improving. You're one step ahead or one step closer to your dream. Just don't give up.
Thank you for that, and thank you for highlighting gratitude. No, if there's one thing that I want to highlight for this episode, I guess it's to be grateful, because that's for you to attract things to be grateful for. You have to stay grateful. You have to stay at bliss. No, and there are a lot of mental health issues simply because we forget to be grateful. We forget to, take a pause and appreciate life, and yeah, just live in bliss. And by living in bliss importante kasi na you are grateful eh. No, what are your tips around being grateful? Or like, how do you say your gratitude every day? What are tips that you can give to our listeners?
Like the simple things talaga, like having a good cup of coffee, waking up energized after a long rest. Just take delight and take gratitude in everything. Ano pa ba what are the other things that I'm grateful for? Basta in the morning, like when I wake up, I always say, thank you, Lord, for a good night's sleep. And thank you, Lord, for another day to do something productive. Yeah, just be excited about what the day has to bring you. Like kahit maulan, kahit gloomy yan, mag-thank you for the weather. Like, it's really the simple things that in life that will make you happy. And you just really have to appreciate what's in front of you. Because I guess yun yung nakakalimutan ng marami, na parang we are already blessed. We just don't know where to look.
That's right. Little things, and we take things for granted, and we forget to say our gratitude. But I think it's really the little things that we have to start observing. If you're staying present at the moment kasi, you'll see everything eh. 'Di ba? Na parang for example, ako bumababa ako kanina. Everyday bumababa ako dito sa office ko. But kanina when I was going down, nagmamadali ako because may recording. I came from back-to-back meetings. And then I realized, sabi ko, buti na lang yung office ko nasa baba. Thank you, Lord, hindi malayo. Alam mo yon, yung parang everyday you're running on an autopilot, nakakalimutan mo na umiinom ka ng tubig everyday. That's something to be grateful for. Kumakain ka ng kanin, kumakain ka on time, 'di ba? Something to be grateful for. But because we're running on autopilot, we keep thinking, anong gagawin ko next? Anong meron bukas? Nakalimutan mo na to appreciate what's in front of you. And
Yes.
promise, if you start being grateful and living a life of gratitude, you'll attract more, and not just attract more, but you'll enjoy your life. You'll enjoy your life
Yes.
simply because hindi ka na nag-crave for more eh. Hindi, of course, you want greater things in life. You have big dreams for yourself, but hindi ka ganun ka-pressured kasi alam mong you have enough. You have what you have. But anyway, gusto ko talaga i-point out talaga yung gratitude, because that's something that I learned. And guys, I'm not even, kasi Mel, di ba sabi niya, kapag kagising lang, sabihin mo na thank you for a good sleep. Thank you for another day for me to do something productive. 'Di ba? You don't have to make it grand na everyday pupunta ka ng church, everyday ganito. No, it could be as simple as saying it out loud, na what are things that you're grateful for. So say it out loud, say your gratitude. I call it gratitude prayer actually. Na parang for the simple things, for the little things, I immediately say thank you. I immediately, yun nga, parang ito, parang kahit nasisira na yung wifi ko kanina sa meeting, sabi ko, thank you talaga, may laptop ako, you know. It's just connection, maayos din to. But thank you, I have a way for me to connect to people. Ganun lang. As in, sinasabi ko lang out loud. It's a practice na you would want to develop so that you appreciate all the things na meron ka. Yeah. Another thing siguro, ako personally, what I do for gratitude is I have my gratitude journal. So, I was sharing with you kanina, diba, na I like listing down in the morning 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be as simple as, I woke up with my aircon and ang lamig. Thank you, ang lamig. Alam mo yon, it could be as simple as, I woke up today feeling energized. That's it. It's not even grand or it's never anchored on material things that I have, but it's just speaking and noticing and giving time to appreciate things that I currently have and I currently experience. Like never, thank you Lord, may cellphone ako. Hindi. Because those are things that I say parang within the day naman. Pero in the morning, I really try to reflect and connect with my higher self on what are greater things in life that I should be grateful for aside from the material things that we have here in the world. Diba? So, yeah. So, that's what you can do, guys. Sabi nga ni Mel, diba? Just be grateful for the little things and say your gratitude. Speaking it out, 'di ba? Wala namang thank you, may water ako. Thank you Lord, may ring light ako. Ano ba yan? Lahat ng bagay na nandito gusto ko ipagpasalamat, 'di ba? It doesn't have to be grand.
And I feel like that's also a good practice, especially in the morning, because it will set your mindset for the day. Like kahit na napuyat ka, parang if you think about it in a more lighter way, na parang okay, napuyat ako ngayon, pero may energy pa rin ako ng konti just to get through the day. Yung mga ganun, like, how you can easily turn the bad things into good things as long as you keep your mind into it.
Right. And I wanna add to that because when you start your day with problems, all day, it's gonna be just problematic. Sa totoo lang.
Exactly.
Diba? But if you start your day with gratitude, with saying your gratitude prayer, writing down things you're grateful for, you'll attract more things to be grateful for. Magugulat ka, your whole day is like, wow, ang daming bagay na pwedeng ipagpasalamat pala. Diba? Pero pagka kabaliktaran, no, when you start your day, tignan mo agad ang Facebook and then makita mo, no, problema ng government, parang whole day sirang-sira yung araw mo. 'Di ba? Na parang sana we have better this, we have better that, sana lahat na lang, no. Lahat na lang kulang. It will feel like lack all the time if we don't practice saying our gratitude. No, saying things that we're grateful for. So yeah, before we close this, no, because you were given the chance to have a second life, can you say that now you are living more blissfully? Because you mentioned earlier na you are blissful even before the surgery, no. Now, how would you define bliss for you?
I guess it was still the same thing. Like, I'm still the go-getter that I am, but I guess it was more magnetized afterwards. And yun nga, parang I was more grateful of the little things now, and I get to appreciate the now even more because yun nga, like as I've mentioned, getting cancer is something that you can't control. So start on taking control of the things that you can control actually, and just, putting your direction right into it. You'll be more appreciative of life. You'll be more grateful. You'll be more happy. Kasi, I mean, I don't know, it's just a constant practice na I've learned afterwards na pwede pala na parang you take delight even on the smallest things, and eventually, like, it would make you such a better person in the long run. You wouldn't even notice it, but you'd turn into a very beautiful person because you are very full of gratitude and full of grace.
Life in gratitude, and at the same time, life with no regrets.
Yes.
No? beautiful, Mel, and syempre kasing beautiful mo ang iyong message. But maybe before we close this, what would be your last message to all our listeners?
I guess it's always to live in the now, always do your best, and just allow yourself to be a work in progress and filled with gratitude. That's all.
Allow yourself to be a work in progress. Very beautiful message for today's episode. So, again, thank you so much, Mel, for sharing your light, for sharing your story, and for inspiring us. Yung aking intern na nandito sa call, no, is messaging me na nakaka-inspire daw yung story mo. So, I hope that everyone who's listening to this episode will also get the value of, being reminded to stay grateful, to live life, and to believe in perfect timing. No, and never push anything because may certain plan yung Lord for us and for our own journey in this life, in our own lifetime. Lifestyle tuloy, lifetime. But yeah, thank you so much, Mel, for willingly and openly sharing your story to everyone listening and to this podcast. So just for us to quickly, how can they reach you? How can they connect with you? Maybe promote also your business if you want. Go ahead, Mel.
You guys can follow me on my socials. That's Melissa Denishka. So you can easily connect with me there. So especially now that I've shared my journey on Yanni's podcast, and a lot of you guys would hear about it. So if you have a relative or a friend going through the same thing, you'd be surprised because it's actually very common among women, especially. And one of the things that I'm grateful for that I guess I wasn't able to mention was actually the people that surrounded me. There were so many people who really supported me. Maybe that's the reason why I wasn't too scared of going into surgery or going through these battles, because I really had people that I could connect with and, help support me through my journey. So there. So if you have any questions about how it went for me on a more personal level, you can easily connect with me on my social media. I have Facebook as well. It's the same, facebook.com/Melissa Denishka. And yeah, you can also follow my business. That's at Yours Truly Denishka on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you so much, Mel. So, guys, you can connect with Mel if you have other questions, if you are also battling with critical illness or cancer specifically, or you know people who are, then maybe, you just need a community to talk. Just need a community, just need a person to talk to. Then Mel is actually replying to people, and pinromote niya din talaga yan, no, nung live namin, that you can connect with her if you have any problems or questions with regards to your sickness or your illness. So again, thank you so much, Mel, for sharing your story, your very beautiful story. Hopefully madaming taong ma-inspire dito sa episode na to. Thank you. And again, this has been Yanni. Thank you so much for listening to Quarter Life Bliss. Next week, we will be posting our episode, our season ender. So hopefully you get to listen to that as well. We are having a very great guest for next week's episode. So until then, see you guys next week. Bye! Once again, this is Coach Yani Moya reminding you to breathe and live your best life every day. Because remember, when you tap into your state of bliss, you unlock limitless possibilities. If you enjoyed this episode, do follow and subscribe for weekly content. You can also follow me on my socials at Coach Yani Moya on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. See you next week!